In your experience, how can one tell the difference between quitting out of fear versus quitting out of wisdom?
When you quit out of wisdom, it doesn't serve you. When you quit out of fear, you negotiate with yourself. You say, I'm just not going to do this anymore. There's a big difference. Like a lot of people set the wrong goal and they're going after the wrong goal. It's not even what they want, it's what somebody else wants for them. So if your goal does not wake you up out of bed, it's not a goal, it's a wish. And the goal demands you to accept the idea. See, your want comes from your subconscious mind. It comes from the essence of who you are. Your subconscious mind gives your conscious mind a signal. Hey, this is for you. Our job is to accept it, but most people, they reject it right away. They'll accept it maybe for a day. Then they say, no, I can't do that because their self-esteem doesn't accept it. So every time you have resistance, it's going against your programming. But what I want people to do is when they have resistance, instead of running away from it, do that thing right away. And just be aware, the only reason I have resistance, it's because it's not congruent with my current programming.
How do you distinguish temporary resistance and maybe the true sign that it's time to move on?
There is no fucking moving on. If you want something, you go after it with every cell of your being. That's what I'm telling you. See, that question is somebody who is giving themselves a plan B and plan C. When you want something, there is nothing else but what you want. So resistance, I get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resistances every day. Resistance is designed to help us, not stop us. The universe will test you on how bad you want it. So if you want something so bad, you commit to it with every cell of your being. But that means you have to understand you're going to suck in the beginning to develop this. And you have to embrace sucking. You have to embrace the suck. And then the next day, you're still choosing in at a 10 out of 10 in terms of commitment. And then you get a little better. The resistance is going to get less. The bigger the goal, the bigger the resistance. But it demands an all-in commitment. But the real question is, people stop thinking about how they want to create their lives when they get resistance. So they go after this distraction of immediate pleasure instead of going after what they want the most. Now think about this. I told you for 3 years, I was doing the repetitions, I was studying the books, I got nowhere. I almost quit. But I must have planted that desire. I just didn't know it at the time that it got deep inside of me. That's what woke me up in the middle of the morning that said, I'm not giving up on this. And so don't let resistance make decisions for you. Let your future of what you desire make the decisions for you.
Do you think quitting can ever be a power move?
Yeah, if it doesn't serve you, we have to be great quitters. I quit at a lot of my bad habits. That's quitting. But quit at the right things, not the wrong things. Don't quit because you don't know how to do it. Don't quit because you're not better. Allow yourself to train yourself to get better. So what I want all of you to do is really design the life you want. If you're chasing right now, I promise you're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. If you don't have direction right now, it's going to take you years and years and years and years, and most people never commit to those years because they lack the discipline. But when you work with a great mentor, what happens is they will speed up the time. They will speed up the time significantly. And so I want you, first, you don't need more discipline or new standards or a better attitude if you're not going to have a sincere, authentic want. But you've got to understand your want is yours. It's not mine. It's not your family's, and you've got to own it. Most people are not going after what they want. I was at an event that I was doing, and I asked this gentleman in the front row, I said, what do you want? And he said, I want to create financial freedom. I said, great. And then I said, why do you want it? He goes, because I want to serve the most amount of people. And I didn't believe him. I said, I don't think that's your why. And he starts laughing. I said, what is your real why? And he said, because I want to earn a lot of money. I said, why didn't you just tell me that? He said, because I didn't know what everybody else was going to think. I said, forget about everybody else. This is your want. Your why is your why. And until your why is stronger than your why not, nothing's going to change. Now, if I'm looking at you right now, the first thing I would ask you is, what are your results? Why do I ask that? Because your results will tell me where your attitude is. And if you show me someone's attitude, I'll tell you what their future results are going to be. So when you start bulletproofing your want and say, this is what I'm doing, and committing and decide for yourself, I'm never going to quit. Make every decision from the person who already has it. You're going to skip levels and you're going to speed up the results significantly. You're going to speed it, but what you're really speeding up is your identity, because none of this works until you change your identity. But you can't change your identity if you don't have a want and if you don't commit to the want. But if you have a want and go straight to identity, it's not going to happen. You got to build standards. You got to build standards, because what happens is our standards create our story. Like all of you have a story right now. Your story is what you're walking into every day. And ask yourself, is my story accurate? Is that the story I want to live? Or am I thinking I'm not good enough? Or I'm thinking they could build a business, but I can't. No one knows how to build a business until they do it, but they change the story around it. And the story creates the identity creates the result. So I could talk about this for hours. I mean, I'm obsessed with this. I'm obsessed with how the mind works. I'm obsessed with helping clients. I'm always thinking, how can I do this better? Like my inspiration for this talk right now was just me talking to you in the camera. I was in the jacuzzi. And I said, God, I think I'm gonna do this right now. I think it would benefit you all, because when my life really changed, I'm telling you a lot of little stories, but it was so simple. It was so simple. And this takes me back, because I say simple. I achieved something big one year, and my mentor said to me, why don't you do it? He says, why don't you do it every year? I said, I don't know. He said, Arash, this isn't rocket science. Success is easy. Just get the hell out of your way and just accept bigger ideas. So from that moment, I said, I'm just going to accept every goal like it is done. From that moment, I never think of when it's going to happen, why it won't happen. All I think of, who do I have to become? Who do I have to become? So your personal growth, if you truly want to create freedom, has to be based on an obsession of building your life. But you can't build your life unless you have an obsession of building yourself. I want you to build yourself every day. I don't want you to have literally accept any idea of why you cannot do it. You have to refuse to stop making decisions from your present results and stop making decisions from your environment. You want to make decisions from your new environment. So when you do that, everything will change. Everything will change.
What's the best way to protect my goal from being influenced by the negative people around me?
You don't tell them. You don't tell them anything about your goal. The only people you should ever share your goal with, people who are going in that direction. You never share a goal with dream stealers. And most people are stealing other people's dreams. The reason people are not achieving what they want is because somebody has talked them into giving up, or they've talked themselves into giving up on it. So my image is strong enough now that I love telling the world my goal, because I let the world become my accountability partner. But in the beginning, you don't tell anybody your goal, because they will influence you.
Did you ever have family members or anything that was negative to you?
Oh, constantly. In the beginning, everyone thought I was trying to become a priest. And there's nothing wrong with becoming a priest, but that wasn't my mission. And I remember my mom and my brother sat me down because they didn't understand the direction I was going. And I told them to stay out of my way. And I said, I knew where I was going was right. And I'm a determined individual. I've always been determined. I was just very unaware of what to do. See, people are not understanding. They can achieve anything. They just don't have the direction. That's what changes the game. Once someone gets the direction, their life changes. And a lot of people say, I have never followed through. I can relate to that. I didn't follow through. Well, what caused me to follow through? Hiring a mentor and doing exactly what he told me. Because now I was accountable to my mentor, not just to myself. And I remember one thing he told me that really changed the game for me. He says, you don't need to know how to do it. You just need to know that I know I can show you how. Now, I tell all my clients that. I say, I have broad shoulders. Give me your worries. Just do what I tell you. And I don't need you to be perfect. I need you to be consistent.
I remember at World Class Wealth, you told the crowd, you said, approach every goal like you did when you were like 4 or 5 years old. When do we stop believing we can do everything like I did when I was 5?
Oh, it's just with the environment of school. You know, every kid is letting their results control them. I'm good, I'm not good. I'm good, I'm not good. I look at it with my kids. My kids are now 11 and 13. I put them in the most amazing environment. I've taught this to them since they were literally in my wife's stomach. And I would just speak to them all the time. But I thought, oh God, this is gonna be great for them by the time they're teenagers or by the time they're 8. Well, I have to work with them just as hard because they still have their own growth and they're still letting the outside control them by fitting into their peer group. So this is a lifetime journey. No matter what type of environment you put them in, you still have to teach them how to build their character, because life is about our character. You know you're going in the right direction when adversity comes and you don't give up. It doesn't affect you like it used to. You'll know you're changing because you're willing to bet on yourself. You know you're changing because your language is changing and the type of goals you're building, and you're willing to get out of your comfort zone. Everything was against me. And I'm not special, I promise you. I'm an ordinary person, just like everybody. We're all the same. And when everything changes, when I started doing it now, I was telling a client that I was coaching, he said, what were the few best things that you really did to change your life? I mean, the first thing obviously was I hired a mentor when I didn't have the money. That was the first thing I did because my way wasn't working. But then I would make moves before I was ready. Where before I was waiting till I was ready, then I was gonna do a thing. And then I started acting on ideas right away. If I had an inspiration, I'd do it now. And I wasn't worried about whether it would work or not. I was not worried about whether it would work or not. And then I just started accepting every idea from the person who achieved it. And guys, I remember the first month, my mentor, we're at a seminar because he told me, I want you to be everywhere I go, I want you to be. So everywhere he went, I was there. And he surprises me and he says, I want you to come on stage and introduce me. I said, I don't want to do that. I was not a speaker. Public speaking, if you talk to my childhood friends, the one thing Arash would never be would be in front of thousands of people speaking. And he said, Arash, this will be good for you. Then right before I was going on stage, he said, oh my God, your tie is such a mess. Who the hell taught you how to tie a tie? I said, nobody. I said, this is my brother's tie. I just asked him to knot it and I would just slip my head under it. And he said, we've got to really work on your self-image. And it was like another one of my emotional impacts in such a good way because I knew he was right. I mean, what 25-year-old doesn't know how to tie a tie? I wasn't 25, I was 31 at the time. What 31-year-old doesn't know how to tie a tie? And, but the tie was nothing. It wasn't about the tie. It was about changing my self-image. And so I spent 2 years changing my self-image. And I said, what would be the best thing I could do right away to change my self-image? He said, upgrade how you dress. So I didn't have money. I remember I would go to Kohl's. That's where I was. No offense to Kohl's, but that's where I was. And I would start getting things that were nicer than what I had. Well, if you fast forward at 14, 15 years, we were on this webinar we were doing together. It was me and Bob working with a group of people. And we're on the webinar and Bob takes a screenshot of me and texts it to me while he's teaching. And I start laughing. He stops the webinar. He goes, Arash, what are you laughing at? I go, you just texted me. And he goes, you know, you're the reason why I wear sports coats now? Because he used to always wear ties, but he started wearing sports coats. Well, it became full circle for us because he taught me the system, parts of the system that I've taught so many people how to change image. Like right now, if you want to change your image, the best thing you could do is start acting before you're ready. Action creates a visceral experience, and we literally change the moment we take action. I welcomed a client the other day, Daisy. And Daisy, if you're watching this, because I know you came to me through YouTube, I'm so proud of you. But Daisy joined my Peak Performers coaching program. And I told her, do you know, today, you just changed your life. I said, you're not gonna know it because you're not gonna see the results, but today you changed your life. And you're gonna see Daisy as a huge success story because she changed her identity the moment she bet on herself. So are you betting on yourself? It goes full circle for me. Anyhow, I just wanted to share some ideas with you that I think will really help you, but they're only gonna help you if you implement them. And like I said, if you need help, it's an invitation. Just send an email to hello@vosscoachingco.com. You don't send an email, don't send an email. You know, whatever you wanna do. But I will tell you, stop protecting yourself and stop wasting time, because we don't know how much time we have. When people think when I get ready, then I'll do it, they think there's millions of years of times. It's the biggest fallacy. It's like Napoleon Hill said, when an opportunity comes, you have to say yes right away and you have to act on it. But I hope you get so much value out of this, and I hope it shifted your philosophy, and I hope it, even if just one of you who was about to quit never quits, you're gonna win. Understand that. Have an amazing day, evening, wherever you're watching this from, and I will see you on my next video.